This is Terry with Collabo Creative, a local service design company in Indianapolis. And we are going back to our Lessons from Learning series. And instead of coming at you every single day, like we said, we're going to be coming every week. So every Wednesday, we'll have a new expert learner to share their lessons from quarantine with all of you, so that as we are starting to see everything reopen and we're starting to re-engage with our communities and our neighbors and our friends and our coworkers, that we can continue to think about the lessons we've learned and bring that into this new space, into this new reality or next normal or whatever people are calling it. But that way we're doing this in a way where we're intentional and we're thinking about our actions and what we've learned through this time apart, because that is so important, that we don't just continue doing the things we're doing, but we actually learn from our reflections in the spaces that we've been, because that is so important, especially now, right? So this week I have a really, really amazing woman. She's a dear friend of mine. She is a coach for me. So of course she has great lessons to share, because she's already an expert learner, but I will let her introduce herself. Andrea, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thanks, Terry. I would say that Terry is an expert learner too. She learns very well. So there you go. Okay. So my name's Andrea Liebross, and as Terry said, I am a coach, and I work with people who are struggling to really find that path towards growth within their career or their business. So they know it's out there, but they can't quite pick the trail to go on to figure out how to grow. And so we work together to find that trail or path, overcome obstacles that are along the way, and some of them are real and some of them are in their head, and get them moving in the direction they want to go in. And at the same time, really do it with what I like to call is unapologetic ambition. So not apologizing or not feeling guilty about putting time, energy, resources into their own personal and professional growth. That's what I do.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, we should not feel guilty for putting time into our own personal growth and professional growth. That's awesome. Well, so I like to start off with just asking, what's one thing you're grateful for today?
I think today I am grateful for, one thing is it's my anniversary. So I'm grateful for being married for 24 years. And then the other thing that I am grateful for is, this morning I started a 5-day challenge. So 5 days to clear thinking challenge for my listeners and audience out there. And we recorded our first recording of a live event this morning, and it went really well. And I get energized by that stuff, no matter who's on the other end. So I'm grateful that it seemed to be well received. And more importantly, I really enjoyed doing it.
Yay.
So those are 2 things from today.
That's awesome. Congratulations. I did
Thank
not
you.
know that it was your anniversary today.
Yes, people don't talk about that stuff, but it is. So.
Hey, it's part of us, right?
It is.
Well, congratulations. That is awesome.
Thanks.
So let's just dive right in. We are so curious and want to know, what have you learned during quarantine? So what's one lesson you learned during quarantine?
So there's so many lessons, but one thing that really, it took me until the last, I would say, week or 2 weeks to kind of wrap my head around. I got a bigger picture, because now, we're recording this and we're 2.5 months into this scenario. I learned that it really, no matter what the situation, okay, it really all comes down to what you are thinking, okay, and then to take it a step further to what you are planning. So, in my own world, I think it's similar to other people. March, it was kind of just a blur. It all seemed like this might be a vacation. Okay. And I just kind of continued on as I was going. Okay. April, okay, you're really in the thick of it. There were definite highs and lows in April. Okay. And I started to question everything I was doing, personally and professionally. Okay. There was some guilt involved. There was some, oh my gosh, do I need to change my whole world around? Do I need to change what I offer, how I work with people? Do I need to change how I run my own household? Okay, all that kind of went in April. And then I think by the time May rolled around, we were all like, okay, this is just what it is. And I started to change the way I thought. So end of April, beginning of May, I literally laid out a plan for every single day what I was going to do. All right. And I had one plan that went from like April 28th to May 15th. And then I had another plan that was like May 15th that actually goes till the end of this week. And I was like, okay, what are my intentions? Not necessarily my goals, but what are my intentions for each day? And once I started to do that, I would say business wise, May was my best month ever.
Wow.
Okay. Like whatever. Okay. And my household just seemed to run a little smoother. Okay. So it really was thinking intentionally ahead of time and then creating a plan. And it had nothing to do with what was going on in the outside world. So me feeling that success, I mean, we were all still at home, the stay at home. No one was out there, stay at home. So it really just was what was ever in my brain. And I kind of learned with my clients that some of them in April started to kind of, I'll call it spiral downwards. Okay. But those that could kind of change the way they were approaching things and create a plan have come out in a really good place. So it was evident in my own personal world and then also in my clients.
Nice. That's awesome. Okay. So that's a great lesson, right? Like setting our intentions and how that focusing on that can help us basically stay focused on what it is where we're trying to get to.
Yeah, where you're trying to get to. And it doesn't matter. I think the key is it doesn't matter what's going on out there.
Yeah.
Like the facts out there in the world, it really doesn't matter. It really comes down to what's going on in your head.
Nice. I love it. Okay. So now, as we start to re-engage and we're starting to move into, into the space outside, right? And there's so many things going on. And especially since when we're in our houses, we were kind of consumed with everything that's going out, but at least physically we're kind of separated from it.
Right.
But now we're going to go back into it. So how do you think this lesson kind of carries out as we start to re-engage?
So I think, old learning, we'll call it, or old way of thinking was that things had to be done in person. Okay. I think we've all figured out that's not necessarily the case. It's just the way we approach it. So the way I approach a Zoom call is similar to the way I would approach a face-to-face meeting with someone across the table. And there's things that are different about it. Absolutely. But I think we can accomplish the same thing virtually or in person. So again, doesn't really matter what's going on there. Whatever your intention is, you can carry through in any setting. I think moving forward, we can carry with us the knowledge that when you set a plan and follow it, things happen, right? I think we all kind of fell off the turnip truck a little in the process. Like how many people had really good intentions that to be like, this is going to be a great time for me to get in shape or to cook more or to do whatever. Some of that stuff happened, okay, but some of it didn't because it just got like your brain was spinning. So if you stick to the plan, you find success and don't veer off. Don't let all of these other things happening externally influence your actions.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. So we have to keep that in mind as we start to re-engage, which is stick to our plans.
Stick to the plan. Create a plan. I guess create a plan. Stick to the plan. And don't worry about what else. It's easy to say and it's easier to say than to do, but don't worry what else is happening out there.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Terry, we were just having a conversation before we started recording.
I know. Yes. Yeah. Not like getting your control over your own thoughts. It is always easier said than done.
Yeah. It's like managing your mind.
Okay.
Right? It's managing your mind.
Yeah. So given that, can you give us like one of your tips or one of your tricks to help you maintain control over your thoughts, right? And maintain control over.
Yeah. So I'll share something that I shared this morning, okay, on this clear thinking. So a lot of people talk about journaling or writing down their thoughts. I mean, everybody's talking about that, right? So again, easier said than done. Okay. Easy to do, easy not to do. So one of my kind of best tips is to do what I call a thought download. So spend 5 minutes, kind of empty your brain of all of your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Then this is the key. Then to go back and kind of assess each of those thoughts and kind of figure out what are you noticing, or what's really behind the thought. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so example, someone this morning shared that they had written down the thought, I really need to send out 20 emails today. I'm behind. Okay, that was the thought that was going through their head. And I said, okay, what's behind that? You're feeling guilt, pressure, like you should have done it last week. Okay, there's something behind that. Is that helping you to write it that way?
Mm-hmm.
Or could you write it and just say, today I have time to send out these emails. It's on my calendar. It's a whole, just by saying that in a different way, like I've set aside time to do this today, gives it a whole different perspective. So it's not just like emptying your brain onto paper.
Uh-huh.
It's then going back and reading what you put on there
Mm-hmm.
and thinking, okay, what's really behind this?
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Okay. It gives you, it's like noticing your own thoughts or eavesdropping in on your own brain. Like, why did I say that? Why did I say that,
why did I say it that way?
right. Like, why did I say it that way? Or, I could write, I'm excited to talk to Terry today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Why am I excited to talk to Terry today? Like, what am I really thinking? Oh, because we're talking about a topic that's super interesting to me and I like talking to Terry. Okay. So what's behind that is really the trick. Like, eavesdrop in on your brain, be like a spy.
Oh, okay. I can do that. I love that. That makes it so much easier, right? So just download my thoughts and then reflect, because then it's a physical reflection rather than sitting here and just trying to think about what's on my mind.
No, like, don't judge what you're writing when you're writing it.
Okay.
Don't be judgy, and don't worry if it's negative or positive or whatever. It doesn't matter. Go back and then spend a couple minutes and be like, well, why did I write that? What am I really thinking? Or how does that make me feel? Is that helping me? No. Someone wrote, I'm always, I was late to get on this call and I really need to wake up earlier. Okay. So I said to her, it sounds like an ultimatum. You must wake up earlier. Right? I said, what if you wrote it and said, waking up earlier helps me feel more prepared for the day? Like, totally different way to say something like that. So you can do that personally and also in your business.
Oh, I love it. Small things that we can do.
Mm-hmm.
And we can all do it every day.
We can. Again, and don't beat yourself up if you don't do it every day.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't help you.
All right. Well, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing not just your lessons, but also your tips and how we can apply this moving forward. Because I think that's where we want to get to, right? It's always great to learn from our own reflections and our time apart, but then what do we do with that? And so
what do we do with it?
Yeah.
What do we do with it? It's interesting.
So I just want to thank you for taking the time to come on and share those lessons as well as your tips with us, because these are things that like we had just said, these are things that we can absolutely start applying now, right? Like,
yes,
I'm going to get off this call and I'm going to start thinking of all the things that I need to do. And instead I can start just downloading it and start thinking about, well, what are my thoughts behind this? And what's driving.
Do I really need to do all of these things like right now? Yeah. Probably not. Probably not.
It's funny when you don't write it down how everything feels urgent here, right?
Yes. Everything feels urgent and everything feels like it has so much, like it's meaningful, like it's going to make or break you.
Yeah.
It's going to make or break you. When in the end, that's not the case. Mm-hmm. That's not the case. And I think a lot of people realize that during the last 2 months, like their thoughts, everything seems so urgent or everything seems so panicky, but look, we're all still here.
That's true. Yeah.
Right? We're all still here and some people are thriving, others aren't, right? But some people are. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, and I think for everyone that's watching out there, if these lessons are helpful to help you thrive, then that's awesome, because that's what we want to see. We want to see everyone being able to thrive no matter what the circumstances and what the conditions are, right?
Yeah. think some people realized too, if you wanted a second little lesson, I think some people realized that they were blaming, like they didn't like their job and they thought it was the people that they were working with, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now they're at home, they don't even have to see these people. And they realized it really isn't the people that they're working with. Maybe it's just the job itself, the work, or maybe it's all the other things at home that are really getting to them. So it allowed people to sort of clarify why they're thinking what they're thinking, or if that thought is even valid, or if it's what I call like a thought error.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even think about that.
Yes, that happened to several of my clients who were all tied up in like, they were in a horrible situation. They needed to move on. But once they started working from home, it all became super clear what was good and what wasn't so good.
Right. Oh, that's fascinating.
It's very interesting.
We're going to have to talk more about that because that's just really fascinating.
It is very fascinating. It was very fascinating.
All right. Well, so I don't want to take your time too much on this episode, but we'll connect more about that because that's just really interesting. And but I did want to thank you for coming on and sharing your experiences and your lessons with us, because I know it's so valuable for me, and so two, it's got to be valuable for everyone else out there that's watching. And for everyone that is tuning in, thank you so much for watching and listening to what Andrea has to share. And we're going to wrap up. So Andrea, do you have any last words of wisdom that you want to share out before we say goodbye?
Sure. Here's a kind of a saying that I really love. So I like to say that failure is the currency of success.
Where did that come from?
You like that? It's
Yeah.
pretty good, huh? I know. I learned it from another coach. So think about it. Failure is the currency, or what you need to buy you success. So you've got to fail in order to succeed.
That's fantastic. Very profound, right? We don't really often think about it that way, but yes, I love it. Failure is the currency of success. So
yes.
So if you are out there and you feel like you are failing at everything, which sometimes that's what it feels like right now. I know I feel like I'm failing at emails, but
me too. That's another learn. There's too many emails. We learned that. Too many emails.
But it's okay, because we will be successful at this. We are going to continue to put in these failures. We're going to learn from every step, and we will be successful emailing people in the near future.
Yes, we'll learn how to manage our inbox and outbox. Yeah.
Yes, that's what we need to. That's what I need to be able to do. But whatever it is that you are being challenged with out there, I love that failure is the currency to success. So hopefully you take that with you and start to think about everything that Andrea has shared with us. You shared with us so many lessons. This is fantastic.
Too many.
So hopefully you enjoyed this, and if you liked this lesson from quarantine, if you love Andrea, make sure you give us a thumbs up and like the video, and then be sure to subscribe, because every single week we'll be bringing on more expert learners to share their lessons from quarantine. And if you are an expert learner out there, give us a call or send us a message through social media, because we want to make sure that we're bringing people on to share their voices and share their experiences so that we can all learn collectively, because everyone has a story that's important to share, and everyone has a lesson out there that they've learned that we can all learn from. So that is our goal, is to make sure we're elevating our conversations and bringing people together so that we can be more collaborative in how we learn, and hopefully more creative in the future, so that we can create new, more, better futures.
New, more, better.
Yes, new, more, better. I like that.
Right. I like that.
Thank you again for watching, and thank you so much, Andrea, for joining us. We will see you I will see you next week. See you later.
Thanks, Terry.